Hey guys, how's it going? It's Preston. As you can see, I'm filming this video on my phone. My parents' Wi-Fi isn't working right now, so unfortunately I can't use my desktop. But, I just was thinking, yesterday, I wanted to make a video about, workplace rights as a trans person because I had an interview for a job, and when I was at the interview, I was thinking, I didn't know my workplace rights when I've been applying in the past as presenting as male. So this video is to help you get to know your rights in the workplace. So first things first, we have a few different things that we have a right to when we work or are employed somewhere. We have the right to not be fired or refused a job or promotion because we're trans. So, in general, you cannot be refused employment because of your gender identity, and you also cannot be fired or prevented from earning a promotion just because you're trans. So, and it says online, I'm going to read from my notes, this is true even if your state and local government have not passed laws explicitly prohibiting gender identity discrimination. So even in states where there's a lot of discrimination anyways, regardless of what it says, basically you do have the right to be treated fairly and to not be fired because of your gender identity. So you also have the right to be treated with respect and not be harassed. So sex-based harassment is basically, in other words, unlawful, and if it is either severe or widespread and the employer doesn't do anything about it, that is also unlawful. Sex-based harassment would include jokes or derogatory comments about trans people, repeated intentional misuse of your name, using the wrong name and wrong pronouns, and then invasive, disrespectful questions that are personal to your gender identity also count as harassment. So if they were to ask, what's in your pants, or like, what were you before, what's your name before, that is considered as sex-based harassment. Trans people have the right to safe and adequate access to restrooms and other facilities that are consistent with your gender identity. So, for instance, I am present as male, I identify as male, I go by Preston. I am allowed to use the men's restroom at work. So, for instance, if they were to force me to use a different bathroom because I identify as trans or present as male, but, I biologically am not, that is discrimination. And according to several federal courts and the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, or the EEOC, denying access to facilities consistent with your gender identity can count as discrimination. So, federally speaking, according to some courts, it is discrimination if they prevent you from using your preferred bathroom. So employers can also cannot demand medical or legal documentation of your gender as a condition to use the restroom. So if they ask for proof of your gender and documentation form to use the bathroom that you want to, that is discrimination. And if they limit you to using a specific restroom that is separate from other employees, such as if you're on the third floor of a building and they make you go to the bathroom on the first floor just because you identify as trans, that's not fair, and that counts as discrimination. It also states, I'll read it, agencies also cannot require you to use facilities that are unsanitary, potentially unsafe, or located at an unreasonable distance from your workstations. So like I said, if you're on the third floor and you're in an office building, you're in a cubicle, and they make you use a separate restroom because you're trans, they make you go to the bottom floor, like the first floor, that's discrimination. Because, back in the day, one example I could think of is when black people had to use a different restroom than white people. That was, segregation and discrimination, and basically, it's the same concept, I guess I'm trying to say. If they force you to use a different bathroom, that's constitutes as discrimination according to federal courts. You also have the right to choose to be out and not to be outed. So, for instance, if you're out as trans, you have the right to be out as trans and, what's the word? Disclose your trans status to people. So, if you're not out as trans, but prefer to just be seen as just male or female without the transgender status, you have a right to do so as well. Your employer cannot out you to your coworkers. So it says your employer can't forbid you from disclosing your trans status, gender identity, or fire you for coming out. So if they fire you for coming out and identifying as trans, that is wrong. If your employer has rules limiting personal conversations with coworkers, clients, or customers, those rules must be evenly applied and cannot be used to single out trans people. So they cannot just have special rules for you and only you, and then different rules for everyone else because they're not trans. Like, for instance, the bathroom thing, the whole allowed to do this or allowed to do that. They can't have special rules for you, like I said, just because you're trans. And it also says your employer also cannot arbitrarily disclose your trans status without your consent. So like I said, they cannot out you to your coworkers without your own personal consent because it is your choice, it is your life, it is your, like I said, your choice to be out or not to be out. You are not forced. And you shouldn't be. And lastly, trans people are protected no matter what the Trump administration says. So I'm going to read a quote from this website that I got all this information from, and I'm going to put the link down below. Oh God, it's going to start raining. I'm going to move. But anyways, it says, in October 2017, Attorney General Jeff Sessions issued a memo stating the U.S. Justice Department will no longer stand up for trans people in court. This memo does not change the law, and it ignores nearly 2 decades of court rulings, as well as the position of the EEOC and even the Supreme Court. So, while the Trump administration's actions may cause confusion and encourages employers to discriminate, trans people are still protected at work. Federal disability laws, along with state and local non-discrimination laws, may also apply to anti-trans discrimination. So, in general, trans people are protected regardless of, what's been going on in the world these days, and you should never be afraid to stand up for yourself, especially in a workplace, because trans people will always, I feel, face discrimination along with gay people and people who aren't white. So in general, I feel as trans people should just try to continually educate people, let them know that we are human, we have feelings, we're just like everyone else, and we're no different. And so, anyways, I just decided to make this video because, like I said, I was thinking of it yesterday, that I had a job interview, and I was like, maybe I should make a video about this. So, that's what I did. So, if you guys have any questions, leave a comment down below. You can subscribe, like this video, and share it if you'd want. Let me know anything else you'd like me to talk about, and, that's about it. So thank you for watching, and I'll be making more videos soon. So anyways, bye-bye.